As I went down in the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the starry crown? Good Lord, show me the way. Oh, sisters, let's go down, come on down. Oh, sisters, let's go down, down in the river to pray. As I went down in the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the robe and crown? Good Lord, show me the way. Oh, brothers, let's go down, come on down. Come on, brothers, let's go down, down in the river to pray. As I went down in the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the starry crown? Good Lord, show me the way. Oh, fathers, let's go down, come on down. Oh, fathers, let's go down, down in the river to pray. As I went down in the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the robe and crown? Good Lord, show me the way. Oh, mothers, let's go down, come on down. Don't you want to go down? Come on, mothers, let's go down, down in the river to pray. As I went down in the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the starry crown? Good Lord, show me the way. Oh, children, let's go down, come on down. Oh, children, let's go down, down in the river to pray. As I went down in the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the robe and crown? Good Lord, show me the way.
Please be seated if you are not already, and welcome to Unity Fort Worth. We have a wonderful service prepared for you today, so relax, take a deep breath, and let's sing a couple of more songs together.
And you can stand up for this one if you want to. This one's call and response, so just sing after me. Take a look at the person next to you. Take a look at the person next to you. God loves you and I love you too. God loves you and I love you too. I feel the love in the sanctuary. Feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. Lift your voice and repeat. We come together. We come together. We come a high energy song. Now go ahead and be seated and say hello to somebody while you're at it. Wave at somebody you know, wave at somebody you don't know, wave at those folks watching on the cameras, because we're happy they came to see us this morning as well. We're going to sing one more little song. I'm here to remind you. It's a big song.
I'm here to remind you of your magnificence, to help you awake to all the wonder that you are. I long to show you all the joy you're worthy of. I'm here to remind you how much you're truly loved. I'm here to remind you of your magnificence, to help you awake to all the wonder that you are. I long to show you all the joy you're worthy of. I'm here to remind you how much you're truly loved. I'm here to remind you of your magnificence, to help you awake to all the wonder that you are. I long to show you all the joy you're worthy of. I'm here to remind you how much you're truly loved.
Let us now take a moment in prayer. We relax into this moment, becoming completely present. Allow your breath to deepen while continuing to breathe at your own pace as your body and mind calm and unwind. Right here and now. Let go of any thought of worry or regret. Let go of past or future concerns and embrace this moment as you are realizing your own divinity. As we relax and let go, we allow our awareness to expand and remember our true self. We resonate with what is beyond our thinking, feeling, and physical senses. We find a place of calm within our core, a sense of equilibrium, a balance that settles the struggles and worries to reveal a deeper experience of peace. We notice that our bodies feel relaxed and liberated. We may also notice that our minds feel relaxed and free. We find ourselves in perfect balance, exquisite harmony, a loving and gentle hug from our soul. We recognize in this moment that we are truly divine. Our serenity is pure expression that all is well and all is possible as we behold all to be well. We affirm our ability to bring about calmness in the face of strife. We resonate in the peace in all situations as we become more familiar with our true nature, Christ, remembering our Christ within. Christ is peace itself. Christ is who and what we already are. Remembering this, balance is restored. We are the peace that passes all understanding. From that place, all is goodness. We balance our lives in recognition that balance is already present. We open our hearts and minds to those that struggle. We bring to mind all that suffer, be it friend or family, colleague or acquaintance, insider or outsider, visitor or stranger. We hold them in the light they already are. We focus on our hearts and radiate our love to them as much as we radiate our love for us within. We envision health and wholeness for them as much as we envision it for ourselves. We embrace our oneness with God, principle, Christ. Spirit, oneness is already present. We are grateful that we know the truth within. We vibrate with gratitude for all the beings, regardless of race, orientation, or belief. We bless all paths and all determinations and all understandings. For God in Christ is us. We are that. And so it is. Amen.
Good morning. The absolute word for today is, my prayer sets in motion God qualities in your life and mine. Let's say this together. My prayer sets in motion God qualities in your life and mine. I'm honored whenever someone asks me to pray. Whatever the prayer request, my responsibility is always the same, recognizing that all qualities of God are fully present in everyone, regardless of circumstance. These God qualities are potential forces waiting to be set in motion through the thinking, feeling functions of our consciousness. And this is from Charles Fillmore's book, Atom Smashing Power of Mind. When asked to pray for healing, I release all thoughts and feelings of illness as I affirm total well-being. I know divine life and intelligence are active in every cell. When asked to pray for abundance, I give no power or importance to thoughts or feelings of lack. I set in motion the principles of abundance, discernment, understanding, and love as active forces in the person with whom I'm praying, and they make wise, prospering choices. Today's scripture verse is from 3 John chapter 1, verse 2. Beloved, I pray that all may go well with you and that you may be in good health, just as it is well with your soul. So the affirmation again is, my prayer sets in motion God qualities in your life and mine. Together, my prayer sets in motion God qualities in your life and mine.
Right. The thank you this morning goes out to Unity Friends, a group that tirelessly holds space for our congregants and our community. If there are any members of this group present, would you stand so we can recognize you? Thank you, sincerely. And speaking of thank you, we want to welcome anyone who came here today for the first or second time, either in person or online. Thank you for joining us and being part of our community. We hope that you will stay and connect with us in the fellowships hall afterwards and many more fellowships in the future. Municipal Election Day is coming up on Saturday, May 6th. Early voting starts tomorrow, Monday, April 24th, and runs through Tuesday, May 2nd. Our resident voting ambassador, Stella, will be in the foyer after the service again today to help you with questions about elections in your municipality and applying for a mail-in ballot. There's Stella.
Jennifer, can
Okay, she also has printed voters' guides from League of Women Voters, and so there's some literature you can pick up in the foyer. Our spring concert, you better save the date, is coming up Sunday, May 21st at 2 p.m. Our music team and the Unity Singers are putting together a wonderful program, and it's entitled Spring into Broadway. We'll have more information to share next week, but go ahead and mark your calendars so you remember to join us. Our potluck, speaking of updating calendars, our potluck is usually the second Sunday, but for May, we're going to postpone it 1 week so it corresponds with the spring concert. Plan to bring a dish to share on Sunday, May 21st, and then stay for the concert after. We love breaking bread with each other. And now, Pamela Seibert, our fundraising committee chair, is going to fill us in on an upcoming opportunity.
There it is, bake sale. Yum. Well, since we did postpone potluck until the following Sunday, then May 14th, as you know, is Mother's Day. And last year, a congregant suggested that we do a bake sale, but we already had our year totally filled up. So this is a perfect time on Mother's Day, May 14th. And here's how the bake sale will work. Bring your wonderful favorite baked good to the fellowship hall before service, and then we'll make sure it gets labeled and set out and everything. Then after service, everyone come by fellowship hall and pick up a wonderful treat. One other thing, it's minor, but in a way it's not. If you will bring your baked good in something that's portable, that doesn't have to be returned to you, that would be helpful. And if we can get enough volunteers, you'll be able to use cash, check, or card for your baked goods. So thank you very much, and we thank you in advance for participating. And that's all the announcements for today. And now back to our sweet music team.
Brighter than tomorrow. And if you really try, you'll find there's no need to cry. In this place, you'll feel there's no hurt or sorrow. There are ways to get there if you care enough for the living. Make a little space to make a better place. The world, make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. There are people dying. If you care enough for the living, make a better place for you and for me. If you want to know why, there's a love that cannot lie. Love is strong, it only cares for joyful giving. If we try, we shall see. In this bliss we cannot feel fear or dread. We stop existing and start living. Then it feels that always love's enough for us growing to make a better world. Let's make a better world. place for you and for me. Heal the world, make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. There are people dying. If you care enough for the living to make a better place for you and for me. Heal the world, make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. There are people dying. If you care enough for the living to make a better place for you and for me. There are people dying. If you care enough for the living to make a better place for you and for me. There are people dying. If you care enough for the living to make a better place for you and for me. 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 For our children. You and for me. Heal the world we live in. You and for me. For our children. You and for me. Heal the world we live in. Save it for our children.
And now, it is my great pleasure to introduce to you our guest speaker for today, Rabbi Jonathan Siger. Did I pronounce it correctly? The rabbi was born in Boston and raised in New York. He is an alumnus of the Portledge School and graduated from Brandeis University with honors, and is also a graduate of the Second City Conservatory of Improvisational Theater in Chicago, which makes me look forward to this talk, where he also worked as an assistant producer. He received his master's degree and later his rabbinical ordination from the Hebrew Union College in 2002, and is a member of the Central Conference of American Rabbis, representing the Reform movement. Rabbi Siger is the inspirational leader of Congregation Jewish Community North and serves as District 1 lead chaplain for the Harris County Sheriff's Office, and is also involved with many interfaith and intercultural dialogue programs. We are always glad to have him here. Please join me in welcoming Rabbi Siger. Noel.
Good morning, everyone. Yes, indeed. First off the bat, just to make you feel terrible. No, I'm kidding. It's actually Siger, S-I-G-E-R. I always tell people I messed with the spelling, or I like to tell people we were at the zoo the other day and we saw those big stripy orange cats. You know, the tigers, which is fun. But yes, it's actually that's not what the name was. I don't know what it was when my great grandfather came over from Ukraine, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't Siger. But that's what it is now. So that out of the way, as if my name weren't difficult enough to pronounce, today I will be speaking to you about a very interesting practice and giving a little bit of context. First off, it goes without saying that it is actually always a pleasure to be with you all, virtually or in person, when I'm able to join with a Unity Fellowship. I am a fan of your movement and your approach to community building and learning from the vast array of wisdom that is there to be found amongst the cultures of our little neighborhood called planet Earth. Now, one of the cultures, obviously, is Judaism. We are an old people, and we have an awful lot of traditions, many of which may be familiar to you all, some probably less so. And when Jean-Marie asked if I would be available to speak and then asked what I would speak about, I thought, well, we're actually in the middle of a period of time between the biblical holiday of Passover, which many of you, I assume, may have heard of or be familiar with, and on the way to a holiday that is known by many people as Pentecost, but to Jews it's known as Shavuot. It is known as the Feast of Weeks because it takes place 7 weeks after Passover. So it's a week of weeks, as it were, a group of 7 weeks. Now, during this time period, our tradition tells us that we are supposed to count these weeks. It's a thing that is found in the Torah, and specifically in the book of Leviticus. I hope you will indulge me. I'm going to do a little bit of screen sharing here, screen sharing, because I have both some text, but also some very nice graphics that I think you may find interesting, as fun as it is to watch my hair slowly grow. Let's look at this first text from Leviticus. Okay, right here, I hope you all can see that. This is discussing one of the practices that happens around the time of Passover. In the Jewish community, we're eating no bread or parched grain or any kinds of grain. It's a law for all time, throughout all the ages and all your settlements. So whether you live in Dallas or Fort Worth or even in Houston, no matter where you're living, you can't eat certain grain products unless they're matzah, which is that special flatbread that we eat. Separate note, it's actually it's very similar to a flour tortilla. That's even not a joke. That's actually one of the theories about where flour tortillas came from. But we can't have them on Passover. They have to be just matzah, which is like a very overcooked tortilla. From the day on which you bring the sheaf or elevation offering of barley, you would bring an offering at this time of year. You will count 7 weeks, and they must be complete, 7 full weeks. You must count until the day after the 7th week, 50 days. Then you shall bring an offering of new grain to the Eternal, Adonai, or God, whatever name you wish to choose to use when discussing the creator of everything. You have my and our tradition's blessing to do so. So we use Adonai, which means my Lord, or just God is also a good one. So that's where that comes from. Don't worry, it's not going to be all dry text. Now we're going to get into some interesting things. One of the reasons that we count these weeks is the idea is that it's very important. Without the barley growing, without the spring wheat growing, people are going to have a hard time in the summer. First of all, without barley, there's no beer. And everybody has always liked beer, especially in the summer. More so because the fermentation helped make water drinkable. So it wasn't simply about just intoxication. That was never something that was important. But for actually staying alive, you needed certain things that would help make water drinkable, and mixing it with fermented things helps. Secondly, no bread. It's a staple. So the weather can severely affect barley, especially apparently as it grows towards the end of its growing cycle. And this is also true with wheat. I am not a farmer, so I cannot speak to the specific dangers, but I do take it on faith, if you'll pardon the expression, that they knew what they were talking about when people say you've got to be careful and you don't want any rain because it'll ruin the crop. You want things to stay stable weather-wise. And of course, our ancestors, probably like even some of us in our more romantic moments, believe that heaven is in control of absolutely everything. And if we get too much rain or not enough rain, then God must be mad at us. So during this period of time, it became traditional to adopt almost a footing of semi-mourning. People did not have wild parties. They wouldn't even have weddings, or if they had weddings, they were very small affairs. People wouldn't often have live music maybe. People traditionally don't cut their hair. That was my joke about watching my hair grow, because you're not supposed to be particularly worried about your physical appearance. You're supposed to be worried about being on your best behavior because you want to make sure that your crops are blessed. Now, this was all good and well in ancient Israel, but once the world changed drastically in the first centuries of the Christian era, as the church is developing, obviously there's the Jewish community experiences our great diaspora, and we're spread out, and we no longer live in ancient Israel. And some of these practices that connect us to the land of Israel, or even the region itself, it's hard to relate to. If you're living in northern Italy, let's say, or my ancestors actually started in Jerusalem, but ended up in Greece for a while, and then they were in France for a number of times. So let's say in the year 1400, you're living in France, you're not really worried about the barley harvest outside Jerusalem. You have other concerns. And so it became an exercise in simply in counting. This period of time became ritualized. And in fact, over time, you see all this beautiful artwork. I'm going to share something with you that is not easy to understand, but I just think it's very cool. These calendars were developed because every day you had to count, and there's a prayer that's said, and there's you do the official counting of the Omer. We're supposed to count the barley, and today is day 1 of the barley harvest, or the barley counting, all the way up to day 49. And this is an example of probably not as nearly as fun as Advent calendars. If you know from people that celebrate Christmas, we don't have Advent, but we do have the Omer and the barley season. So let me show this to you. This is something that's a little bit more recent. I believe this is just a few hundred years old, but it is a remarkably ornate piece of artwork. And if you can see my screen here, wow. I mean, I've got 6 years of rabbinical school, and this will make you go cross-eyed. But it's quite ornate. And I'll zoom in a little bit just so you can get a look at some of what's going on here. It's decorated, and it has within it the picture of two, I think it's probably first place in an elementary school art contest, perhaps. I mean, I'm not sure that these are not the best looking lions I've ever seen, but they are cute in their own way. Lions of Judah, representing the tribe of Judah, but they're holding up the 10 Commandments, which is what is the culmination of this 7 weeks. Shavuot, Pentecost, is the anniversary, the holiday where we celebrate receiving the 10 Commandments. So there's a picture of the 10 Commandments. That's what this is all leading up to. Down here, whoa, this crazy circle-looking thing is the calendar. And here it says, Hayom, right in the middle here. I don't know if there we go, it should work. Right at the top, it says, today is the 2nd day of the Omer. And here it is over here. Here is the 3rd day of the Omer. This is the 4th day of the Omer. And it goes all the way around. It goes actually clockwise. And it goes all the way around. And what you would do is you would put a little peg, or probably not a sticker in the 1800s, but you would put something on there so that when people would come into the synagogue, they'd know what day it is to count. Over here, this is an image of some of the, at the bottom, there's an image of a book that is from the Mishnah, which is a very important book in Jewish tradition that talks about all the laws of counting the Omer. And there are various meditations over here and all sorts of little details, which if you have 7 weeks to count the Omer, and we didn't have smartphones, so nobody was scrolling social media, I guess, and I would definitely be one of the people that would probably be hanging out over in the corner over looking at the poster here and making use of this Omer counter that would help you count the Omer. Now, all of that is well and good. But now we get into an interesting thing that happens. Somewhere around the year 1300 or so, Jewish mystical tradition starts to take off. And the Jewish mystical tradition becomes very popular. And what it does is it takes a lot of the practices that people have been doing for many years, and it puts it into a different context. And it starts to move from ritual for the sake of ritual and tradition for the sake of tradition and doing things for the sake of a admittedly superstitious belief, which we're not really supposed to be fans of superstition, but human beings tend to be superstitious. Fear that if you don't do something right, then you're going to get punished, reward and punishment. And that can be useful to a point, but ultimately, of course, you need more. People wanted more. And in the Middle Ages, particularly around the 15th and 16th century, you saw a Jewish mystical tradition develop. It started actually in Spain in the 1300s, for those of you that are interested in medieval things and early Renaissance, and really, who among us is not, right? You saw something that developed that is known as Kabbalah, and you may have run into it before. You are clearly open-minded and educated, and people talk about Kabbalah. And Kabbalah is, and I'm mispronouncing it actually, or Kabbalah. People call it Kabbalah. It's called Kabbalah in Hebrew. It means the received tradition. And the Kabbalah draws off of lots of different traditions that we have within Judaism, but tries to frame things in a more mystical, spiritual framework, which people find beneficial traditionally because it talks about personal development. We are concerned with ritual. Why do you count 49 days of barley growing even if you don't grow barley and you have no real connection to the ancient agricultural calendar of the land of Israel? You count it because the Torah tells you to do it, and that's our tradition. Now, that's fine. That's okay. Discipline for the sake of discipline can help us. But isn't it nice if you can actually say, oh, no, you don't understand. We're not growing barley. We're growing our spirit. We're growing our mystical connection to the world and creation. And all of this gets framed through something that's known as the tree of life. And if you have not heard of the Jewish tree of life, I can see all of you in the congregation. Those of you joining on Zoom, I will just, I hope some of this is resonating with you. Just a quick show of hands of people that may have heard of the tree of life before, the Jewish tree of life. Oh, excellent. Okay, not surprised. Pleased and not surprised. And for those of you that may not be familiar with it, not to worry. I'll try to do this as succinctly as possible. The tree of life is a way of looking at the world as though divine energy, that the creative force that creates the universe, is so powerful that it really can't exist in the material realm the way we do. That's why Jewish people have long believed that humanity is God's partner in creation. When we talk about being in the image of God or being partners with God, we're not angels. We're not completely spiritual beings. We are physical manifestations, but we have spiritual entity within us. And most of our life is spent trying to keep those things in balance, and they fight with each other something terrible. And that's why we need religion and discipline, and we need each other to help us not fall prey to our lower instincts and our lower drives, and try to strengthen our noble elements, our spiritual side. So there's something known as the tree of life. I have a very pretty picture of it. It is a diagram that I'll share with you now. And this is a particularly pretty one. Okay, this is known as the tree of life. And it consists of, it's probably 11, but it's really 10. This one is usually, the one that says Keter in the middle is sometimes is hidden, doesn't show up. Keter is the crown, and that's the highest form of divine energy, and everything flows through. The 7 weeks, I'm not going to give a whole thing on this. I know this might seem overwhelming, but it will be clearer in a moment. The lower 7 get attached to each of the weeks. So every week of the counting of the Omer, counting of the barley season, is attached to one of these lower aspects of divine energy. The belief is just like God can manifest among us in different ways. With kindness, chesed, down here, I'm starting halfway down. Chesed, gevura, which is severity, but it really means strength, or almost heroism, but strength is a better word for it. Tiferet, which is beauty. Netzach, which is that victory, or endurance, is a big word for that, the sense of endurance. Hod, which is glory, but it's more like the humility. It's a different type of beauty, but it's similar, but different enough that it has its own sphere, its own concept. Yesod, which is the foundation, which for human beings is honestly really when we talk about it in the context of some other Eastern traditions, more of our generative energy, sort of the procreation, the sort of the basic life energy. And in Malchut is the lowest, which represents kingdom. And it's the idea that God's energy starts at the top and gets filtered through all of these elements, but where it then becomes part of our world. Now, that's very 60s. It's very hippie, but when I say 60s, I mean 1560s, not the 1960s. There you go. All right, but no, it's really it's a little out there. I understand that, but here's another way that we look at this. They say that each of these elements can also be attached to parts of the human body. It's just another way of looking at it. Share this image with you. Here is someone practicing a modified lotus position, and you see the Keter, the crown, Bina, and Chochmah. These have to do with knowledge, and these have to do with purely intellectual. These exist on a purely intellectual level. The lower ones that we just talked about, Chesed, Gevura, Tiferet, Netzach, Hod, Yesod, Malchut. These lower ones, kindness, strength, beauty, victory, splendor, foundation, and kingdom, relate to lower parts of the body. So your left and right side, your heart, your solar plexus, and our procreative parts, and then Malchut, which sometimes is actually attached to the mouth because our words have the power to create or destroy. Or here it's represented by the legs, the things you stand upon. All of that leads us to what I was most excited to share with you. And that is a way of taking each of these 7 Sefirot, and every day, there are 49 days. The 50th day is Pentecost. 50th day is Shavuot, when we get the Torah, when we receive divine wisdom. The idea here is that this is all tied to Passover. When the Israelites are freed from Egypt, if we view ourselves as spiritual ancestors, even if you don't want to view yourself or don't view yourself as a literal descendant of the Israelites, that when we free ourselves from bondage, from slavery, when we begin the process of self-discovery and emancipation, we're not really ready for Torah. We're not really ready to take on what our mission is. We have to work towards it. We have to develop our skill set. We have to develop our character. We have to develop our ability to carry out what we're going to be given when we receive the Torah, when we receive divine instruction, however you wish to interpret that. And so each one of these days is attached to a combination of those two of those seven spheres. So I'm now going to show you a really pretty chart, and it aligns them with certain colors, which is a nice way to visualize these 49 combinations, each day of the Omer being another day on this chart. And like so, here you go. This is a handy-dandy, sort of not as exciting, no candy or cute cartoon advent calendar, but it's got pretty colors. Now, begins right after Passover. I hope you all can see that. If not, maybe it's just colors. You'll have to trust me. Begins on the first day. It goes from the top to the bottom and then down in columns. The first week is that first sphere of chesed, of kindness. And so on the first day, we combine chesed with chesed, kindness within kindness. So the first day of the Omer, we think about what does it mean to be kind while being kind? Sometimes when we're kind, why are we being kind? Are we being kind because we truly believe in the value of kindness? Or are we being kind because we don't feel like having a confrontation? Are we being kind because we want people to think we're nice people so that we're serving our own ego? Are we being kind because we want to put kindness out into the world? This is the kind of thing that we're told to think about on the first day of the Omer. Second day of the Omer takes strength, gevura, the second sphere. And so we contemplate strength within kindness. Sometimes being kind means being strong. Sometimes being kind means not giving in to someone's request. We're doing someone more good by tough love, perhaps. And you can find that say, well, you're not being kind. I am being kind, but we're being kind through using strength and the strength that it requires to sometimes do something that is kind. I don't know if any of you have ever had to let someone go from a position because it's not the right fit for them and everybody's struggling. And it's hard to do that. But ultimately, you know you're doing the right thing. They're going to be better off. You're miserable here. This isn't working for you or for anyone. It's not easy to do. It requires a certain amount of strength. Well, that is where the second day of the Omer is there to help us prepare ourselves. As we go through the weeks, we combine each one of these attributes each day, and we are told that while we're counting the barley, it actually becomes, it's day, let's say, day is 17 today, by the way. I want to point out a couple things. We had, it's the beginning of a new month. Yesterday, Rosh Chodesh means the new month. Today, during the day, all day until sunset, it's the 17th day of the Omer. And we're right here in that green spot. And that is compassion within compassion, tiferet within tiferet, or beauty within beauty. There are little ways to interpret it. But really, tiferet is a sense of compassionate beauty. If you think about, we look at the way that the world is designed and say, wow, it's amazing that I don't like mosquitoes, but mosquitoes are food for bats. And the Creator has considered that bats need something to eat. And even though I don't like mosquitoes, there's some beauty in the world. I'm being compassionate towards mosquitoes. I am practicing my compassion within compassion, something that may not serve me, but I can recognize that it may serve some other purpose. And I must consider other creatures' needs as well. And seeing that balance in everything allows me to be compassionate to everything. And this is similar to the kindness question. Am I being compassionate because I want people to think I'm compassionate, or I am being compassionate because I truly see another human being as a reflection of myself? We don't have to spend hours a day contemplating these things. Certainly, if you're able to do that, more power to you. But even spending a moment or two saying, okay, how do I combine these powers in my own life? How do I carry out this kind of combination? And how do I employ this? And how does it make me a more complete person, a more complete image of my Creator, as it were? So this being day 17, tomorrow we get endurance within compassion. And boy, ask your pastors, or if any of you are in healthcare or in healing communities, or parents, or really, frankly, if any of you are human beings, if we have any other human beings here, you'll understand that sometimes being compassionate takes an awful lot of endurance. Like, it's not easy. So that's a day where you think about what provides me the opportunity to endure as a compassionate person. How do I avoid what we call compassion fatigue? How do I make it so I don't burn out? As you can see, I'm fairly confident this particular practice, this approach, doesn't need to be sold very hard. I believe that the wisdom and the value of it is really apparent on a very surface level, not a surface level, rather apparent almost immediately. That this is a kind of cool way to think about attributes of our personalities. and ways that we want to think of the divine working through ourselves. Okay, so it goes all the way through. You can see all these different colors, and these colors were chosen by a wonderful rabbi who influenced a lot of people in my generation, who was someone who really took that mystical tradition and tried to reinvigorate it and make it relevant again, and share it with others. So that's where we get this, and it goes all the way through. You can see to day 49, and all these little days, or there are certain days on our calendar that affect holidays or certain things that you may do. Lag BaOmer is a day where we celebrate, and we can get haircuts, for example. I won't talk a lot about that, but that's how the Omer works. So instead of sitting there and just saying it's a ritual and we count barley, why? Because we just do, because the Bible says to, for 49 days, we're able to take this through, the newest, latest innovations from the 1600s, even a little earlier, from the 16th century, and apply it in a different way, and revitalize and make ancient traditions fresh and vibrant and relevant again. And with that, I believe I have probably used more of my time than I should have, but I want to invite you to join me in a meditation. And to do so, we'll just take a couple minutes here. I hope that's all right. Yeah, but, oh, there we go. I guess I'll take that as a yes. Okay. And we're going to do a visualization exercise using the colors. Each of these colors, as we talked about, is symbolic of these divine traits that we want to bring to life in ourselves. So as we center ourselves, let's deepen our breathing. Feel your body relax and adjust as you need to. Relax your jaw. Stretch out your neck if you need to. Let your shoulders relax. Let gravity be your friend. Pull you, draw you closer to the earth. Follow your breath for a moment. And visualize indigo, that dark purplish blue that you've seen at sunsets and at dawn. Imagine your vision filling with indigo. Allowing that indigo to shift, different shades of violet or lavender, deeper purple, and focus on the multitude of violets and purples and lavenders that are in your world. Flowers, flavors, scents, allowing yourself to be infused with the shades of violet and the loving kindness that it represents. And as you breathe, pardon that interruption, sorry folks, terribly disruptive. We let it go, we brush the intrusions away, following our breath, and see in your mind the color blue, the blue of a summer sky, the blue of the Caribbean, the blue of mountain lakes, the blue of bluebonnets, cornflower, unending as far as your inner eye can see, the blue of sapphire, the blue of awe, the blue of unending space, infusing you, strengthening you. It happens to be my son's birthday, and he loves green. Now let the color you're imagining become green. Fill your imagination with the color green. All the infinite varieties, tones, tints, and shades of green plants, leaves, grass, emeralds, surrounded by green, infused with green, the beauty, the harmony of this world, filling yourself with a sense of compassion for yourself and all good things. Moving to yellow, the warmth of the sun, getting a wee bit ahead of you. It's beautiful. Visualizing yellow, all the shades of yellow, the warmth, the strength of lemon, of flowers, the brightness of fall leaves, endless tones of yellow, urging you on, like the sun urging you to grow, imagining it filling you with ambition and endurance to become what you are destined to be. And orange, marigolds, all the orange flowers you can think of, orange fruits and vegetables, the gourds of the fall, pumpkins, the carrots, nourishment drawn from the earth, your mind's eye, your being suffused with orange, soothing you, granting you humility, the splendor of God's creation, deepening, warming, creating a picture in your mind of red, all the shades, ruby, brick, the red of clay, roses, apples, the blaze of the sky at sunset. Enjoying that red, feeling its warmth, breathing it into yourself, feeling yourself bonding to it, finding a foundation in the red of our blood, the life force within us, being aware of it, strengthening us, nurturing us. And now all colors, all of them, the purples, the blues, the greens, the yellows, the oranges, the reds, bonding, becoming one, experiencing it as white, pure white light, breathtaking white, a healing, divine white light, the purest color consisting of all colors, all spectrum, all becoming one, in you and through you, connected to a greater oneness. And allow your attention to return to your breathing. If you've discovered a favorite color, choose to hold on to it and return, having gone through the spectrum of the colors, having experienced the divine energy through all the spherot, through all the spheres of emanation, joining us back together here in our community.
I breathe for you. You breathe for me. We breathe for all the world in peace. I breathe for you. You breathe for me. We breathe for all the world in peace. There is no way to peace. Peace is the way. There is no way to peace. Peace is the way. I breathe for you. I breathe for you. You breathe for me. You breathe for me. We breathe for all the world in peace. I breathe for you. I breathe for you. You breathe for me. You breathe for me. We breathe for all the world in love. There is no way to love. Love is the way. There is no way to love. Love is the way. I breathe for you. I breathe for you. You breathe for me. You breathe for me. We breathe for all the world in peace. I breathe for you. I breathe for you. You breathe for me. You breathe for me. We breathe for all the world in love.
What a blessing it was to have Rabbi Siger with us today. Please join me in thanking him for being with us and sharing his message.
Very kind. Thank you.
At this time, if you would like to support our mission here at Unity Fort Worth, you can do so as the ushers come around. You may leave a tithe in the offering basket or just place your hand over the basket to bless the contributions. For those online, we post a link for you to make a donation, and you may do the same at our website. In whatever way you choose to contribute, we are deeply grateful as we bless our love offerings together. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am grateful.
The moment I wake up, before I put on my makeup, I say a little prayer for you. While combing my hair now, and wondering what dress to wear now, I say a little prayer for you. Forever,
At work I just take time, and all through my coffee break time, I say a little prayer for you. Forever, forever, you'll stay in my heart, and I will love you forever and ever. We never will part. Oh, how I love you. Together, together, that's how it must be. To live without you would only mean heartbreak for me. I say a little prayer for you. I'll say a little prayer for you. Forever, forever, you stay in my heart, and I will love you forever. We never will part. Oh, how I love you. Together, together, that's how it must be. To live without you would only mean heartbreak for me. My darling, believe me, for me there is no one but you. Please love me too. I'm in love with you. Answer my prayer. Say you love me too. Why don't you answer my prayer? You know that every day I say a little prayer. I say a little prayer.
It has been a tremendous gift to having each of you with us today. Join us for fellowship after service. Stay safe, be well, and have a wonderful week. Please rise to sing our peace song, followed by the prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, and I am.